Hey guys, welcome back to another series on the channel where we talk about the latest sneaker releases and where we talk about on if it's a cop or a drop, if there's any resale value to this, and any investment information for those long-term investments. Today we're going to be looking at the Air Jordan 1 High in the light smoke colorway, and I'm pretty excited to go over the sneaker because I think that there's a lot of good details that make this such a great shoe. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. So the Air Jordan 1 High light smoke colorway releases on the 11th of July in 2020, so that's in currently 4 days from the date of this video. And what I really like about the sneaker is we all know what released a couple of days ago, and if you don't know, I'll give you some hints. It was a gray sneaker, had a retail value of $2,000 US, was reportedly limited to 8,000 pairs worldwide. And if you don't know, the Dior Air Jordan 1 released a couple days ago. Now that saw a really luxurious grey silhouette with a Dior swoosh, translucent icy sole, and of course, everybody wanted a pair. Apparently 5 million people entered the raffle to purchase just one pair. And a lot of people took L's, obviously. I feel like this release is going to act more of a substitute to those rich baller sneakerheads that really wanted a pair of these sneakers, regardless of if they just wanted to rock them or resell them. But yeah, this sneaker, as you can see over there, it's got a really nice light neutral gray colorway, and the gray panels on the sneaker is actually in this really nice suede or nubuck or whatever, and then the detail is at the top with the university red accents in both the Nike Air branding on the tongue and on the Wings logo in that sort of leather patch over there. Now, the reason why I really like this sneaker is I feel like it's the best of both worlds because they can also be compared to another hyped sneaker collaboration, also known as the Union Air Jordan 1s. Now, as you can see with the Union pair, usually with the two collaborations like the Storm Blues and the Black Toes, the bottom half of the sneaker was in one colorway and then the top half was in another colorway, so it was just like a Frankenstein sort of stitched together piece. This sort of gives you the same sort of vibes to that because it's in the same sort of, I don't know if you'd say color blocking, but it's in the same sort of design where the top half of the sneaker is in another sort of colorway, and you got a really color neutral color for the bottom designs of the sneaker. So there you got the best of both worlds. You got the Union Jordan look, and you've also got a Dior sort of look as well. And I feel like this is going to contribute to the overall investment value, hype, build up, and resale value of this sneaker. July 11 is basically the worldwide release of this sneaker, so you can expect Foot Locker to have pairs. You can expect maybe JD Sports to have pairs as well. They've been getting colorways with Jordan 1s. Culture Kings, if you're in Australia, they might have pairs, and also the Nike Sneakers website on July 11, they might obviously see a release. So as of right now, the resale value of this sneaker is hovering around 450 Australian dollars, and that's for pre-sale. I know a couple sneaker YouTubers in America have gotten pairs right now, just like the famous Simpson and whatnot. So obviously there's some pairs circling around the public market right now, just like StockX, GOAT, and whatnot. But July 11 is when we see an actual release. We haven't really seen any early releases prior to that release date in Australia, because generally sometimes we have some releases that take place before the worldwide release date, just like the Fire Red Jordan 5s. We got those a couple months earlier than the rest of the world, which was pretty sick flex. But yeah, all in all, I just see these releasing once, maybe with a couple store restocks immediately after that. They'll release with a retail price of 170 USD, which is sort of like the standard now for Air Jordans. Before they were 160 prior to 2020. In Australia, that would equal 240 Australian dollars, which is again the standard now for retail prices of the Air Jordan 1s. And it's really shocked me because the pre-sale prices are usually supposed to be really expensive compared to the resale prices after the release, and for them to be hovering at around $450, I think is a pretty good steal, because if you were to buy those earlier than the rest of the world gets them, you'll basically be paying the same resale price, but you'll be getting it earlier than everybody else. But then again, that might not work out for you guys, because then if you buy at the pre-sale prices, you're sort of just giving up on the general release of the sneaker, which you might cop for retail, you might not. Who knows? For stock levels, I think it will be comparable to the Pine Greens, Court Purples, and Royal Toes. So still limited, but sort of be like a limited GR for this sneaker. They'll still have decent stock levels just because the Air Jordan 1 is the bulk of Nike and Jordan Brand's profits. They've been releasing a heck ton of colorways recently. I do feel like they've been giving us what we want. I do feel like Jordan Brand has been releasing cheaper alternatives to the most expensive and hyped up sneakers. Just like if you see, there's supposed to be a Mocha Air Jordan 1 sneaker releasing later this year. It's got some really nice mocha chestnut sort of brown leather. It's just a really nice plain and simple sneaker, and obviously it really resembles the Air Jordan 1 Travis Scotts that sort of shut down the sneaker community in terms of hype and whatnot. Also, there's Air Jordan 1 mids, the smoke grays. They were also really comparable to the Air Jordan 1 diors just because of the simple and effective colorway that they chose for the sneaker. But obviously it doesn't hit the same just because it's a mid, and the diors are highs, which are more synonymous with luxury sneakers. But regardless, whenever that Air Jordan 1 mid restocks, they always sell out no matter what. They are actually seeing resale values upwards of 230 and above. I'm pretty sure that's a pretty decent price markup for a pair of Air Jordan 1 mids, especially such a simple colorway as that. But I really feel like those types of sneakers are sort of substitutes for the people that didn't get the Air Jordan 1 Dior, and I feel like any sort of colorway that's sort of comparable to the Air Jordan 1 Dior, just like over here you got the Air Jordan 1 New York City to Paris sneaker, this rose up in value because of the announcement of the Air Jordan 1 Dior. But obviously nevertheless is a really cool sick sneaker, and it's sort of in that safe spot for if you want a really sick pair of Air Jordan 1s but you don't really want to compromise. Instead of buying this Air Jordan 1 mid light smoke gray, where it's sort of just like a substitute for that sneaker, you could sort of pick up close to the real deal, just like with this New York City to Paris, if you want the same look as the Air Jordan 1 Dior. But nevertheless, this smoke gray Jordan sneaker is a really sick colorway for any of those people that missed out and really wanted the Union pair of Jordans and also the Dior pair of Jordans. Put these together and I feel like you got a really dope sneaker. But anyway, if you just wanted a really basic colorway and not really feeling that university red accents on the top, by all means go for the NYC to Paris Jordans. I feel like those are a really solid colorway. And if you are even tighter on the budget, the Air Jordan 1 mid smoke grays are a really decent pick for you guys as well. But for an investment point of view, I really think that because of those factors that I talked about before, in them being comparable to the Unions and Diors and being a decently affordable sneaker at $400, I really feel like these are going to shoot up in value as time progresses, which is obviously the case with any dope colorways of the Jordan 1s. So I really see these going to $500 by the end of this year. I don't know about that because I'm judging these off of pre-sale prices, and obviously I'm judging this under the impression that the pre-sale prices are going to drop after the worldwide release. So these are obviously going to bump up in value over time, but they'll see a significant decrease once the worldwide release happens. So they might drop to $400 after the initial release, then slowly climb back up to around $500 to even maybe $550. The NYC to Paris is currently reselling for around $600. The Air Jordan 1 mids I talked about before reselling for around $250. They might perform similar or better to the Air Jordan 1 NYC to Paris sneakers, but I don't know, only time will tell. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and learned something new, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.